Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Asanat. If you're new here, take a seat. You did that by subscribing, so take a seat. This is the part 2 of how to knit a pant using a single bed knitting machine. If you haven't seen the part 1, I'll link it down below. I suggest you go watch the part 1 before you watch this one. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to put the panels together, how to weave in ends, how to put in elastics, steam it out or iron it out, depending on what you have. If that's something that you're interested in, then you should continue watching. So let's do that. Okay guys, here are the panels that we need together in the part 1 of this video. So as you can see, it is all shriveled up as a stocking net road. I haven't ironed or steamed it out yet because I do not have a steamer and I don't trust myself to iron it out without overdoing it. I prefer to iron out my knitted project when everything is completed because I feel like that is the safest thing for me to do. But if you have a steamer, you might want to steam it here. So to sew these pieces together, I use my treadle sewing machine. If you have any sewing machine, you should be able to do this. I'm just going to use a straight stitch on my treadle. So here, this is the front of the stockinette. You can see, and this is the back. I'm going to match the fronts together. So these are the important things I look out for when I'm pinning my pieces together or my panels together. So I know this is the front and this is the back because of I can see the short row that we put in. You can see here how this panel or this part of the pant grows gradually. So I make sure to match everything perfectly. So I'm going to start off with the front. I know this is my front piece again because of my short rows. I can see that this part of the pant is shorter than the back. So what I do is I match them from the top like so. Then remember in the part 1 we knit the band in with tension 5.0. I can also see that this tension is tighter than this. So what I'm going to do is try to match where we switched our tension from 5 to 10. You will see that that stitch is longer. It shows like a clear demarcation right here. So I'm going to match both sides, front and back together, or both panels, right sides facing each other, by the way. So I'm trying to match my row that has the tension 10. Sometimes when you're using a dark color, you might have to feel for it to get it perfectly. So I have found mine and I will pin that part together. So I know this is my band. Then the next thing I'm going to do is the crotch. So I roll out these pieces. You can see that the crotch matches. So what I do is I come to the end of the crotch here and I match by pinning both of them together. Then I also match the part where we started the crotch. So here I pin and I also match in between here just to hold this together. So this is what the front is looking like. Looks like this. And then move to the back of the pants. I pin the top like so. Again, I will look for the tension 10.0 part of the band. So I know this is the band. This is where the band stops. I can see the clear demarcation. And I'm going to match tension 10.1 front and back. I have to feel for it because this is a dark color. So I match. Then I go to the crouch. See, I haven't decided. I roll this out and I pin this part of the crotch like so. Then I come to this part where we started the crotch. Looks like this. And I pin. There's another part of the back that is important. I am going to make sure, try to match where my short rows end on both panels. So how I do this, I can see where I started my full row I try to match it to the back, just so I have like a seamless look at the back of the pants. If not, the short row increase is going to look crooked. So I have pinned that. I'm also going to just place one pin here. Now this is what the front looks like. This is what the back looks like. I'm just going to take this to my sewing machine and okay guys, I just have my thread set up here. I don't have a navy blue thread, so I'm going to use a black one. But it's okay because these are mine, so I don't mind so much. So again, you can see the back pinned and then the front. The back is longer, that's how I know. I'm just going to double check that the points that I pointed out bars. The points I pointed out are like aligned. I'm checking the bands to make sure, and then the short rows, because I'm starting with the back, so this one already came off, so I'm going to match it up again. Okay, just going to sew straight down towards the edge of the fabric, because you know we didn't put in seam allowance or anything, but I'm banking on the fact that this fabric stretches, so it should be fine, but you don't want to overdo it. Okay, now that I have sewn the back panels together, I'm just going to take this off by cutting my thread, taking off my pin. Okay, so this is what the back looks like. I don't know if this is going to show up on camera, but you can see that I sew it very close to the end of the fabric, just like so. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, which is the front of the pants now. Again, I'm just checking to make sure that everything is aligned. Checking the bands. Okay, I'm fine with what it looks like, so I'm just going to sew this down. Now that I've sewn the front and back together, I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So this is the back and this is the front. Looks like this. The next thing we're going to do is to pin the legs of the pants together. So for that, something that I find that is very important is to make sure I pin the crotch like perfectly. I actually have a pet peeve about that. So I'm going to match the crotch. So this is one leg, this is the other leg. I'm matching here as perfectly as I can. Then I'm going to look for where I put my stitch markers, where I switched my tension to 10.1 for the flare of the pants, and I will match those together. Then I'm going to match the hem of the pants together like so. Then I'm just going to pin in between just so it's easy for me to sew. I'm going to do the same thing that I did on this leg, on the other leg. Okay, now that I've sewn everything together, the next thing is to weave in ends. If you have, or if you use a bigger ball of yarn, or like the 1 kg cones, you don't have to worry too much about this. But because I use 50 grams balls, so I have to keep changing my balls of yarn, so I have a couple of ends to weave in. The way I like to do this is to sew it down first, then weave in my ends, because I find that when I do this, I know my limit. So typically I do not want to weave in the ends past where I sew it down. But if I were to do this before sewing it down, sometimes I extend my seam allowance, and that way it looks messy. So what I'm doing here is I'm just securing the ends, just making sure I weave them in without extending where I sew it down or sew it down. So I'm just using this very small space to weave the ends in. I just kind of go in different directions, and then I cut. So again, the other side, or where the new ball of yarn starts, I might decide to weave it in on the other side of the pants, like so, without extending my seam allowance limit. So that's what I do. I'm just going to do this for the entire of the ends, and I'll show you what to do next. Now that I've weaved in all the ends, I'm just going to flip this right side facing out and inspect that I have sewn it properly. Oh, I missed one end. I'm going to weave the same later. I'm going to check my sewing and be sure that I do not miss a spot or something. Just make sure. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is, this is my elastic. To sew down my band, you can kind of see where the band stops or ends and where the pants begins. You can see that line. That is where we change our tension to 10.1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in my elastic. I'm looking at this elastic and I'm like, is it too long? I don't think so. I don't want it to be too tight, so I'm just going to roll with it. I'm going to fold this down, put in my elastic of course, and fold this down. I have passed some yarn through my darning needle, so what I'm going to do is just having it passed through like this, so I'm not double stranding it. It's just going to be a single strand, as you can see here. I will lay this or fold this in half and try to find where I see my tension change, which is here. You can see it. I'm going to place, okay, I'll first start by sewing this part down, this part where I seamed it together. So I'm just going to do this. I'll leave some tail that I can weave in later. I will double tack this so it doesn't move. So I've secured this. So now I just look for where my tension changes. Again, here you can see it, and I place my darning needle underneath 1, 2. So this is where my tension changes. I'm going to place my insert my darning needle where the tension changes and into the band, like so. I'll pick these 2 loops, and then I also pick the top of the band where we started from, and I do this twice. So 1, 2. Again, I will skip a few. I don't like to go too far or too close with this, just like my thumb and thumb, the spacing in between. I'm going to look for where it is more difficult when you use a darker yarn. I'm going to look for where my tension changes. You can see it here. I'm going to just pick where it changes the band and then pick the top of the band, and then I will double knot this. Again, I will move forward and just continue to do this till the entire band is completed. So I find that double knotting it is, or double tacking it, secures it so it doesn't move all over the place. I'm spacing it out a bit. I'm deciding to space it out a bit because they're too close. Sometimes it becomes too tight, so we don't want that. So this is my ideal like width, or how do I say this, difference, sha. Get it, if you guys get what I mean. So I'm just going to do this till I get to the other side of the band. Final step, I'm going to iron this down, focusing on the hem, on very low heat, emphasis on very low heat. If you have a steamer, preferably. I just want this rolled hem to relax a bit. If you iron this using like high heat on your iron, if you know, it's going to look funky, like stretch out, and you cannot undo it. So very low heat. You have to be patient, which sucks, but you know, that's the way you have to do. So I will honestly be focusing on the hem, just the hem. I will iron this down a little bit, but not so much. So my main focus is the hem, and this is the final step, guys. Oh, I didn't show you what the band looks like. It looks like this. I have put in the elastic. Sometimes I put in lace up ties. So what I will do is, if I want that, I'm going to put in some eyelets in front here, but I don't want this one to have lace up in or lace up ties. So this is what I'm doing for. This is the final look, guys. I love the silhouette of this pant. Like, it just makes me feel powerful and sexy. I really like that I made it in dark colors, so I can style this with lighter color tops, or maybe even dark color tops like I have going on right now. I'll put a separate clip here so you guys can see what it looks like. Honestly, I could have made this a little bit longer. The more I wear this, the more it's going to like get softer and grow and drape better. Just let me give you guys a 360. I love this pant. Like, fit flat pants are, they make me feel something. I just love this pant. Like, it just makes me feel really good. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions at all, leave them in the comment section down below. I'll get to them as soon as possible. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.